All right, we'll start with John Antonic.
Hey, just your thoughts on the way your guys handled the conditions out there, and I know getting the ball in the fairway was probably key to being able to advance, and just the ability to manage the course and the emotions and all that went into last weekend.
Yes. Uh, as Olivia knows, we just got back a couple hours ago, so still a little jet lag from the West Coast time and trying to remember exactly what happened. But yeah, the golf course presented a very unique challenge. We understood that. You remember selection day where we started looking at the golf course, that afternoon, trying to get a game plan, and it became very evident that driving the golf ball was going to be the key to success, and not so much, just bombing it out there. Those fairways are probably some of the tightest fairways we've ever seen, with trouble left and right. There's nowhere to bail out. A lot of golf courses they give you room to have some air off the tee on one side or the other, where you can, almost aim away from the fairway and say, well, if I'm going to miss it, I can miss it way right. There was none of that at this golf course. And there's a reason that, say, Phil Mickelson, Xander Schauffele, Colin Morikawa all play out of this golf club, because it demands the best for driving, which we felt like, we were going to live by the driver or die by the driver, and just stay aggressive off the tee, because we're a really good driving team. And that's what happened. I felt like the guys drove it phenomenal, where other teams were a little maybe too cautious off the tee. I saw that a lot. They would, hit 3 irons or less off the tee and still miss the fairway and still be in trouble. So I thought the guys drove it phenomenal, and that was one of the keys to success. The greens were still challenging. That's why pretty much every team was over par except for one team this week. This was the most challenging regional site out of all of them, based on score in relation to par. So we played a really tough golf course well. And I think playing Pete Dye every day, pretty much every day, playing Whispering Pines for the Big 12 championship, all that helped us prepare for what we're going to see at the Farms this week.
Did that play a role in the guys that you ultimately chose to take out there? Looking for 5 guys that could get it in the fairway and manage the course. And I know qualifiers, you're a big qualifier guy. How much does these qualifiers that you do pretty much every week play into getting the guys sharp and ready to play these big championship type matches?
Right. I think qualifying played a huge part in it. Because qualifying doesn't lie. Like, if you're playing good, you're going to rise to the top. And believe it or not, we might have been one of the few teams that qualified between selection day and getting on the airplane for regionals. But I think that puts our guys in uncomfortable situations where they have to handle the pressure. And if they want to go to California, or where we're going to regional, they have to earn that spot. And sometimes putting them in difficult situations before you go to the tournament makes the tournament seem a little bit easier. I think that was more the mindset there. But we did get some help from the Pete Dye golf course superintendent. He said, hey, how can we set up the golf course in a way that's going to, prepare you guys for where you're going? So we did some things that we haven't done with tee box placements, and made it very, very difficult for driving the golf ball at Pete Dye Golf Club. And I think that, when you step up on number 18 tee at Pete Dye, and it's well over 500 yards, par 4, and that fairway, you cannot bail out left because there's Simpson Creek on the left. You cannot bail out right because there's grass taller than Keenan to the right. You're going to lose your golf ball. Like, you have to step up and hit a good drive. And you have to do that in qualifying to get an airplane ticket to go out to the regionals. So I think all that kind of helped us, select the 5 that were going, but really qualifying selected it for us, if you will, because they had to get the job done in a situation that we would see at regionals.
Last thing here before Bells jumps in. My understanding was there was some fairways that were maybe only 25 yards wide.
Oh yeah. Yeah. You had to walk single file down the fairway because it was that narrow, or you would, be off in the rough or somewhere. Plus, San Diego, there's a lot of, movement, elevation change. There's a lot of mountains. And so, you get on one side, it would just kick and go off into this, ravine, and you would never find that golf ball ever again. So yeah, they were very tight and very visually intimidating. And if you're claustrophobic, that's not a golf course for you.
Cody Nesper, you can go ahead.
Hey, Sean. Congratulations, first of all. And then if you could just kind of take us through, when you guys realized you were going to finish top 3, just what was the emotion like? What was the reaction and I guess the celebration like out of the guys?
Well, you never know until everybody signs their scorecard and and the other teams behind you finish. Because technically they could make hole-in-ones on every hole, and golf's crazy. So as a coach, you don't want to go, oh yeah, we're in, until it's like officially official. But realistically, probably with about 3 holes to go, I walked with Max Green the entire final round, so I knew what was going on in front of me. I knew what the guys had posted, and so I do something I normally don't do because I knew Max was wanting to know, and I showed him the leaderboard, and we had about a 7-8 shot buffer, with 3 holes to go. And I just wanted him to know, like, look, let's just play golf. Like, we don't have to do anything. You don't have to fire at any flags. Like, just hit quality golf shots. And, if we make a birdie, great. If we make par, fine. Bogey, not going to kill us. And so we kind of had fun. It was stressful fun, but we kind of had fun coming down the stretch. But when he made this putt on 18, I think there's a video of it on our social media channel. It's probably a 20-footer for par. But yeah, when that went in the cup, I probably still get a little emotional about it, but because I go back to, like, coming here and not having a golf ball, not having a player, not having an office, just a sheet of paper said, hey, you're the golf coach. It's like, cool. So now what do I do? And so having to go through, all of that, finish a dead last in tournaments, and got not even being invited to tournaments because we're just starting from scratch, to advancing to the national championship. I think it all kind of hit me when Max's putt went in. Sorry.
Mm-hmm. I was going to ask, is there something special about this group, or is this just the growth of the program over the last 9 years?
I think there's something special about this group because we've gotten to almost this point before, if you remember 2019, when you had Etienne Papineau, Max Sear, Logan Perkins, Matthew Sharpstein, Philip Matlari, Mark Getz. I mean, that was a heck of a team. And we almost got through. I think it was 2 or 3 shots. We were that 6th place team. Our season was over right there. So and then COVID kind of took some wind out of our sails. So it was kind of like a rebuild again, but not near as difficult as that first one. But no, there's something special about this team, and really, it came out of, I'm not gonna say it came out of nowhere, because we won our first tournament of the year. So, I mean, we knew we had talent, but there were just some things that we just kept spinning our wheels the whole year that had nothing to do with golf. Like, let's just show up on time. Let's be good teammates. Let's, take care of the golf courses. It was kind of having to go back to square one a little bit, but something clicked this spring, really. And it's been a special run. And so I think there's something special about this team. It's hard to describe because they're all the 5 that at least made it to regionals. They're all different strengths and weaknesses with their game. But really, all 12 of our guys played a role at some point. It's just been crazy this year. Like, people just randomly stepping up. Like, everybody had at least one moment that helped us even get into the regionals to be able to experience this opportunity. So that part has been very unique, that everybody contributed to get us to this point.
Kevin Kinder, you can go up next.
Coach, you mentioned that you walked with Max the entire final round. Is that a departure from what you usually do during competition? And if so, what sparked that?
Yeah, it was a departure because the first round, this is I kind of let the guys get going, see them all off number one, wish them luck, remind them to it's just golf. Like at the end of the day, like you just got to trust your game. And so I caught up with every player on like the sixth hole for round one because it was kind of a difficult short par four. Want to make sure we took care of that. Then I'd skip around to par three, then skip around to par three, and before you knew it, the round was over. And that was kind of my plan for really round two, the start of round two. Well, Max got off to a bad start. And then he, made I want to say a double bogey or a kind of a stupid bogey. I can't remember on a hole. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go because I know Max is going to be a factor here. So let me just walk the rest of the round with him. And then he shot a 30 on his next 9 holes. And I thought, maybe I'll just walk with him again, the next day. And so I asked him, I said, look, I can do whatever, I can stay in the car and, not be seen, like whatever it takes for us to win. And I said, but you want me to walk with you tomorrow? He said, yeah, that's fine. And so that's what we did. And so, yeah, it's definitely a departure and just kind of, getting a sense of the moment and going, I think Max might just need somebody to help him calm him down a little bit. And yeah, I think he reeled off like 3 straight birdies or something. Because I remember texting his dad because at the turn, his dad was giving that look like, oh no, and he birdied a hole. I said, he's locked in. That's what I texted. I said, he's back locked in. And I didn't know he was going to reel off 3 straight birdies, shoot 30. But that was fun to watch.
So the format of the championships coming up, you'll play more golf at this event, hopefully, than you would at any other tournament with both stroke play and then match play. Do you manage the workload differently? Is fatigue a factor? What's your plan going into that?
Well, fatigue's a factor on this video call right now. To be honest with you, I just set my alarm and woke up. Maybe that's why I'm all crying because I don't even know what time it is. But yeah, it's going to be a factor. Plus, we're skipping time zones. It's not like we're riding to Columbus, Ohio, and go tee off there. Like, you got to go all the way back to San Diego, a couple time zones over. So, we've got, I think, 4 full days back here where the guys can, relax, wash clothes, maybe practice a little bit of golf. But when you get to the national championship, it is a ton of golf, hopefully. But if you're not ready to play that, then nobody's going to tell me they're tired. How about that? I mean, even if they are, nobody's going to say that because it's a great opportunity. And we hope to play as much golf as they'll let us play. That's kind of our goal. But yeah, it is a ton of golf. But look, this is what, our guys have been hopefully working towards. And, like our senior, Jackson Davenport, he's been, dreaming about this opportunity. So I think we'll be fine.
John Antonik, you can go next.
Yeah, just curious, when everybody the word kind of come out and everybody realized that you guys are going to advance to nationals, and did anybody reach out to you? I'm sure your phone blew up. I'm sure people from your past texted you, calls, whatnot, messages. Is there any that you care to share with us from people that reached out to you, maybe colleagues, different guys that because this is a big deal this is the next step for your program that you guys were able to take?
Yes. I honestly was blown away, and it's still happening. I mean, I guess we're about 24 hours from this, happening. And the phone, you use that term, my phone was blowing up. I think it almost shut down. Like it wouldn't even barely function because of all the text messages and phone calls. But the ones that meant the most that I really, I cherish everyone. I mean, if somebody took a moment to say congrats, that's huge. Like that they would even, worry about this. But I would say from other coaches, especially coaches I respect, coaches that won, national championships. And it's more so like they understand how hard it is to even, get to a regional, how hard it is to even get through a regional. And then they've seen, the progression of this program, if you will, remembering, the early years. And so those mean a whole heck of a lot. To me, it's been a lot of, Big 12, or, I was in the SEC for 3 years, some guys down there. And then, even former junior college coaches that are now doing heck of jobs here at Division I level. So yeah, any sort of message from a head coach that, really knows our story just means a whole lot to me.
And I know, obviously, a long plane ride back, layover, whatever, in Atlanta, get here, and you woke up. I'm sure all this stuff, you're still trying to process all of the things that are, but is this a game changer for you, what you guys did? Does this put your program in a different light? Does this maybe get you a phone call to a recruit that maybe you couldn't make before? Are these things, have you started to really think about the things and how it could change the trajectory of what you guys are doing?
I mean, I all that stuff kind of makes sense, I think. But the reason we're here is because we developed kids that, showed up as freshmen, and now they're a lot better than how they showed up. And I don't think that's ever going to change. Yes, now maybe when they show up, they're just, instead of averaging 75, they might average 73. So it gives them an opportunity, to develop them even more to do better things. But I just feel like our success is really about kids that, you use the term like played with a chip on his shoulder or whatever, but like, they're not here because of all the bells and whistles or, things that are easy. They're here because things are hard, and that makes them better. And so I think as long as we keep that identity, we'll be fine. But yeah, I think it does open up the story, hopefully, of West Virginia of like, oh, I didn't even know you guys started from scratch like 9 years ago. So yeah, it's a pretty unique story. So I think it's more of that than it is going to change our whole, philosophy of recruiting, who we go after now, because we still want to go after like hardworking kids that are going to represent West Virginia well, compete hard. And if we would have made it or not made it, they still know that we love them and support them, so I definitely don't want to lose that.
Well, and last thing here on that, okay, yes, the recruiting perspective, but when you go out and you talk to people that you're looking for support, I mean, this is something tangible that you can show them and say, hey, look, we're making progress. You invest in our program, you can see that there's a rise, there's a steady rise here. Certainly that's got to help.
Yes, no doubt about that. And we wouldn't be here without, our donors and supporters. It's so many, people that I couldn't even name everybody that's helped us get to this point. They know who they are, and we appreciate it. But yeah, hopefully it's something that the school athletic department and maybe even the state kind of takes pride in. Like, we just sent, 5 golfers from Morgantown down there to beat a lot of good teams, so it's kind of a cool little story, and hopefully something that everybody takes pride in.
All right, Craig Carey, you're next, and then our final question will come from Bryce Cohen.
Yeah, Sean, you mentioned, the success of players just kind of coming in early and steadily getting better. I feel like it's pretty fair to say Todd fits that mold. Just wondering if you could kind of touch a little bit on what it's been like, seeing that steady progression from him into becoming kind of a mainstay in your lineup and a significant contributor.
Yeah, Todd Duncan, out of Daniels, West Virginia, just outside of Beckley. Try not to get emotional on this one either, because he has improved so much, and it's what you wanted as a coach. You recruit a kid from here in state in West Virginia that hadn't really played outside of the state a whole lot. Honestly, had he not gone here, he might have gone to one other school that we know of in the state, and that was probably his two options. And for him to do what he has done in some huge events, namely the Big 12 championship, that helped us secure a bid, and then what he did this week to help us get us to the national championship, and the fact that he understands what it means to be a Mountaineer. Like he grew up cheering for the old gold and blue. He grew up going to football games, basketball games. Like that's the stuff you kind of dream of as a coach. You get a kid from here in state that just he's going to be a Mountaineer fan no matter what. And we have kids from other parts of the country that, yes, they love WVU. They go to football games. They're lifelong Mountaineer fans now. They didn't grow up that way. But with Todd, it's just something different. And when they say this is the 7:45 starting time from West Virginia, Todd Duncan, they mean it, and so that just it's just something really special. Gets me, little emotional. This whole jet lag time change got me all messed up here. Sorry, but yeah, Todd's developed. I mean, his first tournament. You guys have a media guide. Hopefully, Olivia or John or somebody, Brian, can get you a media guide. But go check out his first tournament score, the Mountaineer Invitational, his freshman year. I think it was like 89. Like, I don't play a lot of golf anymore, and I promise you I go shoot that. And so for him to go from that, just hang in there and just get better, I couldn't be more proud or happy for Todd.
And Bryce Cohen, you can finish us out.
Once again, congratulations, Coach. And how do you down the team and draw back the excitement of such a milestone, for the program to prepare for an opportunity on the national stage like this?
Well, one thing I think that helped keep the pressure off this week too is like we had a bunch of our parents and families, sisters and brothers and girlfriends, and we just had a really good group of supporters out there. So once we got done with round one and we're sitting in the top 5, or round 2, we're in third, like we didn't really talk about it, we didn't think about it. We went and hung out with them and just relaxed and had fun and going, hey, isn't this awesome? Like, all right, what are we eating for dinner? And just, we hung out. And I honestly think hanging out with our parents and our families and our friends every night gave us a competitive advantage, because we weren't overanalyzing what could happen, what might happen. And so to your point, I think when we go out again, it's like, hey, we're going to have a bunch of family, friends out there. This is nothing but opportunity. Let's just go play some golf, see what happens. Plus, we're going to be hanging out with friends and family out in San Diego. It's, it could be worse. So I think that's kind of the mindset. And, if we play good golf, good things will happen. But really just the fact that we know we're loved and supported no matter what happens kind of frees you up to go do something special. So I think that's our mindset.
All right. Thank you, Coach. And thank